So hey guys, in this video I'm just going to talk about the 10 must-buy things, essentials I'm going to call them, that you need to get after you've purchased your bike. So for example, you went and got, you ordered your bike online, or you went and picked it up, you bought a used one, whatever it is, you got your bike, but sometimes people forget about all the other things that you need. So this video is going to be all about that. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start talking about the number one thing that you need is a bike stand. So as you can see there, sorry about the car, this is live. So as you can see there is my bike, and it's sitting on a stand. That's a Harbor Freight stand. That was the least expensive one I could find. That was all metal, but they make them in many different types. They have plastic, they have with foot lifts so that you can actually ride over it and then lift it up with your foot. But number one, bike stand. Second to that is tie downs. I like ratcheting tie downs with soft loops. I think those are the best, and I'll show you an example of those right now. So this is the type that I use. This is a ratcheting tie down. And as you can see, it has a ratchet where you can tighten it up and bring it down even tighter. And these are soft loops. Soft loops I got from Harbor Freight is the least expensive. You put these around your handlebars and cinch them down tight when you ratchet, and it keeps the hook tight. These kind of hooks mar if you just use the hooks. So everybody should have tie downs. You should have multiples. I'm going to show you an example of something else I use it for. Tie downs are great. You can even lean your bike up against a bumper and cinch it down that way without having to put it on the stand if you're tired. But prime example here is, here I'm using this to hold back my door. So there you go with that. Third is a bike ramp. Another Harbor Freight scenario with me. I like Harbor Freight. I think their stuff is inexpensive, so I use them quite often. But that's just a single rail. They make them accordion style. They make them wide for ATVs and trucks. I have a van with a low bumper, so I can get away with a single rail. But yeah, you need to invest in a bike ramp to get your bike into whatever vehicle you're going to use. I use a van, as some of you guys who watch my videos know. I use a Ford Econoline 250 van. Just give you an idea of the room. There's sprinters, there's people that use trucks. So whatever you use, just make sure you get a ramp that you can use with it. And if you need to have a step-up block or step upstairs, make sure you think about that also too, so that you don't fall. All right, so the another thing you need, I'm going to walk around the back here, is fuel cans. This is the one I use. It's a regular old gasoline can that you can buy at Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those places like that. Make sure you get a long snout on it so that you're not spilling everywhere. But yeah, you also need a fuel can. All right, and lubricants. Some of the stuff you see here is just regular 1040 motor oil, some WD-40, some brake cleaner, some contact cleaner, some silicone. But any kind of lubricant that you need for your motorcycle, you got to think about that in advance. Oil filter cleaners, chain lube, which I don't have a chain lube right there. I just ran out of some of that. But engine oil, coolant, air filter oil. Yeah, we got that. WD-40 you can use on a lot of stuff. Even in a bind, I use WD-40 for chain lube. Some contact cleaner. You never know when you're going to need some of that. But just this kind of basic stuff. Make sure you've got lubricants. Okay? And then your bike's going to get dirty, right? So here in this bucket, you know, I like Simple Green. I think Simple Green's good for the environment, and it does a pretty dang good job of cleaning up my bike. So I use Simple Green. Of course, I've got sponges, you know, all kinds of different kinds of sponges. So I like that one, so it gets in crevices. I've got a brush, a harder bristle brush to get some of the clay and mud off. I've got a scraper. Sorry, it's kind of hard to show that one. A scraper that you can just, you know, scrape all the major mud off before you even leave the track. That's usually what I do, and then I come back and hit it with my pressure washer and clean her up. This one I got from Rocky Mountain ATV. That goes and cleans up your chain real good. It goes around 3 sides of your chain at once. And then this just is for knocking off loose stuff. But yeah, I like these things. But you know, you're going to have to clean your bike up. So you have to have all the stuff you need to clean your bike. Chemicals, a bucket. You know, I recommend a pressure washer, but not everyone can have them. So you might want to go to the car wash and hit it with a pressure washer. But you know, a heavier brush, a lighter type of sponge or rags to clean her up and dry her off. So, yep, bike cleaning stuff. And I'm going to walk around here. And tools. That is my red toolbox that my dad gave me when I was 15 years old, and I've never lost it. I've recently had tools stolen, but I think for the track, really, you don't need every tool. I've got a big, huge Craftsman box, but for the track, you don't need all that. So this is just a 2-layer. It's got a tray that comes out, you know, and you can put all your stuff, quite a bit of stuff in there. But I never leave home without T-handles. Just the major sizes, not every single one. You know, 8, 10, 12, 14 is typically what I take with me. You know, you can pretty much go through a lot of your bike with just those T-handles. And in this one, I use mostly for a stair step to load my bike, but it also has quite a bit of the bigger tools in it, bigger hammers, a track pack of nuts and bolts, which I would tell anybody to get that. You always need extra nuts and bolts. But yeah, so there you go. Make sure you have some tools with you. You know, you don't want to be the guy who's always asking everybody, hey, you got some lube? Do you have some, you know, you have a 10 millimeter that I can borrow? You don't want to be that guy. Have your own stuff if you can. I mean, everybody's budget's different, but think about that before you buy. All right, so also, you always need air. Tires, you know, they don't always hold air forever. You know, you get a flat, whatever. You want to change different air pressures for different tracks. So get yourself a good low number gauge that goes down to 1, 2, 3, 4. You want low numbers. I use a bicycle pump most of the time, but every so often I'll carry this air compressor that also has a light with it. I kind of like to have that sometimes too, but not always. But definitely minimally an air pump, just a regular old bicycle air pump, and a good quality air gauge that goes very low in the numbers. You know, dirt bikes only use, you know, somewhere between 12 and 16 pounds of air. You're not going up very high. So there you go with that. And gear. You know, you always need your basic, your safety gear. I like to put mine in a container, and that's why I have it out right now. So I'm going to kind of show you what I do. I put my, let that bike go by. I put my boots in here on the bottom. You can obviously see one is clean and one is not. I didn't finish from last time, I guess. But yeah, I like to put them in the bottom and then layer my stuff. So you always need boots, obviously. You need pants. There's my riding pants. My shift gear this is the black set that I have, you know. So then I put the pants on top. You need a shirt, a gear, you know, a jersey, So I usually bring multiple jerseys, but that's just the black one. You need gloves. These are my shift gloves. Again, I usually bring backups. I'm just throwing this in here for example. You need socks. I like the long socks. I usually get, I have Rocky Mountain long compression ones that help with my knee shin guards. But I've been running these lately. These are just your basic Dickies, heavy duty Dickie wool socks because they wick so well. I like them. So I have those. Then my helmet, I have it in a bag usually. You can see there's the bag. And my goggles, I have them always in a bag. Multiple of these too, but I like those. Those particular ones are my Fox ones. I like them because they fit my face very well. And then your helmet. You know, always make sure you don't compromise on your helmet, guys. Helmets and boots, don't compromise on those. Most important things that you need. Not everybody goes with safety gear. I don't run all the safety gear either. I've been recently not having knee braces. I just run shin knee guards. I don't run braces. I tore my ACL once already in my lifetime, and frankly, I had knee braces on at the time on both my knees at that time. So after having conversations with my doctor, you can look him up. He's Dr. Parita in Boca Raton, Florida, did my surgery. He does a lot of stuff with the players for the Miami Dolphins. And he told me straight out, there's no knee brace that would keep you from ever tearing your ACL. I'm not saying that they don't help. They do help with hyperextension, but the rotational, where you tear, they haven't made a knee brace that really works for that particular scenario, unless you're actually attaching it to your boot. But even still, I think that hasn't been proven to be that great. And we're starting to also think that there's also some science that the neck braces are actually dangerous as opposed to being helpful. And I'm not going to go any further on comment on that, but just think about, wear what you feel comfortable with. I would suggest if you're being very competitive, that with 4 strokes the way they are today, you should probably get yourself some kind of chest protection, foam, hard plastic, whichever you want. But yeah, I think those are definitely worthwhile. But yep, so there you go. That's basically the stuff that you need. I'm going to get into some extras. I had a list here. So some of the extra things that, is definitely not a must buy, but you should think about having these things too if you're going to go out for the day. So I'm going to go back around here and point at this pile. Everybody should have a cooler. You always need water. You always need some kind of hydration. I usually take water and Gatorade, and then a light sandwich or something to go with me. But yeah, so everyone should have a cooler. It doesn't matter the size. I'm just using this as an example. It's not the size that I get. I usually have a big igloo that I put a lot more stuff in. But there's that. Towels. Everybody forgets towels and everybody wants them. Always bring some towels and some rags with you. You obviously are going to need them. It gets hot or it gets rainy or whatever. I also usually tend to pack an extra set of clothing, but I don't have an example of that. But extra set of clothing and also a rain jacket and a warm jacket. Those are usually the things I always have in that plastic container that I showed you before. And I think about the last thing I'm going to talk about is a chair. You always need a chair. This one's a folded, it's in a bag. Obviously, you can see it's in a bag. That one folds out and has, I think it has the legs, but I have different ones. You always need a couple of chairs. I always bring extra just in case someone comes and wants to hang out with me. But yeah, that's another thing you need. If you have a van, you're pretty good. You have shade. It'll get hot in here in the summer, but you have shade. If you're just running a truck, I would say it's almost, I almost say no matter what, you need to get a canopy. But if you have a truck, you have no shade. So think about getting a canopy, one of those pop-ups, because you'll be roasting. And last but not least, I don't think there's any numbers anymore, but I don't think I numbered them. But there's a first aid kit. Everybody should have just a small first aid kit. I'm constantly going into this thing. Let me zip it up open if I can. It's hard to do that with one hand. But kind of show you what's in here. Sorry guys. But, you got one of those cracked ice things, compresses, band-aids. You always need freaking band-aids. I got tons of those. Sterile wraps, gloves. I've got gauze in here. This right here is just some hand cleaner in case you ever were dealing with somebody else. You want some gloves and some hand cleaner. Scissors, tape, just a basic kit. This is basically just a travel kit. It's called Just In Case. They put it all together. They give you a good setup just from the start. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm sure there's things that I'm not thinking about that are absolutes, but if you think of something that I haven't put in here, just put it in the comments, man, because everybody can benefit from this. I realized how much stuff I didn't remember that I needed when I just got my bike recently, or last year, but yeah, so there you go. Thank you. Have a good one.